your first ever YouTube video. My goodness. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be introducing you to Miss Oakland Sue, and we're doing a postpartum Q&A. I am sitting on the floor and you can see all the baby stuff behind me. My house is kind of a mess, but you know what? You can only do what you can do. But I do want to introduce you to Miss Oakland. Hold on a second. Oh man, goodness. This is her. She's 2 weeks old and 2 days. And she was born, no, I almost said 10 pounds. She was born 6 pounds, 10 ounces. And she's now 8 pounds. Well, that was how much she weighed last week. I don't know how much she weighs this week. But she's just the sweetest little baby. I love her so freaking much, of course. But yeah, she's pretty easy. I'm gonna try to be quick and get through this video fast because it's coming up on her feed time. So she will start crying. But you guys asked me a bunch of questions on my Snapchat. I asked you guys to send in postpartum questions and you guys did. So we are going to answer them. Look at her staring at you. You are so cute. So we're going to answer them. So the first question was, how has the healing process been? So for myself, I feel like I got very lucky. I have had a very easy healing process. I am actually 2 weeks postpartum and my bleeding has completely stopped. I feel like I'm completely healed. I know I'm not because I do have some stitches, which we'll get to that. And I can still see them, so I know they're not dissolved yet. But I had a very easy healing process. I think I used ice, like padsicles or whatever, for like 4 days, and then after that I stopped all of that. I stopped Tux pads after like 4 days as well and just started doing normal pads, and my bleeding definitely slowed down a ton the second week, and now it's completely stopped, which I'm very thankful for. But I know it can come back, so I'm hoping that it stays gone. But I did not have any pain, like excruciating pain, like how some people describe it, like they have to sit on a donut or they can't really walk. And I didn't have that, but I also didn't have major tearing down there, which you guys did ask a question about that, so we'll get to that. Hi, Ivy. Another question I got is, are you insecure of your postpartum body and what would you change? So I'm very, 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 very thankful and very blessed that I did not have to struggle mentally like some moms and some women do. Actually, when I'm trying to be careful because I know this is a touchy subject for some people, but the day I gave birth, I felt my best. Like I literally felt so good about myself. I was like, oh my gosh, like finally. But I also had a really hard pregnancy, and I struggled more during pregnancy than I did postpartum, if that makes sense, like with my body and my image and all that good stuff. But I was very, very thankful for my body after delivery, and obviously I wasn't back down to my birth weight. I was very squishy still. I didn't look how I used to look, but I was just very thankful that A, I'm no longer pregnant, B, I'm able to now focus on the future and get towards what I want to get to. And that's what kept me super and is still keeping me very not like depressed about it. But there are things that I would like to change, you know. Of course, there's things that anybody wants to change about their body, especially after pushing out a baby. You still have insecurities, and I still do. Like, of course, I don't look the same like I used to. My body's more squishy. I have way more stretch, so many stretch marks, you guys. I mean, it's insane. My legs look like, wow, they're covered in stretch marks. Sometimes I will be like, oh, you know, I'm ready to hit the gym. Like, it's more of like I don't want to wait the 6 weeks to take care of my body. I want to start now, but I know you have to heal before you can really start and focus on working out and getting back to how you were. So I have to just keep that in my mind, or I will drive myself crazy. Another question you guys asked is, how has your relationship been affected? So I thought this was a good question because when I was pregnant, I was more hormonal pregnant than I was now. I just kind of laid on the couch all the time because I genuinely didn't feel good, and I feel like that affected my relationship more than anything. I didn't really want to do anything, and now my relationship is probably the best it's ever been. We are the closest we've ever been, I would say. My hormones are feeling like they're going back to normal, and we're just so blessed and lucky to have little Oakland here that's all we focus on, and we're just very, very blessed to be parents, and we've gotten to be so close. I don't know why. Like, I don't know, it just felt like we reconnected after the baby was born, and which I'm very, very thankful for. But yeah, my relationship has been great. One of you guys commented about mom and dad time. None of that, I can't speak on any of that because I'm not cleared yet. You have to wait 6 weeks. I'm only 2. But I do not see that being an issue. And people are like, oh my gosh, just wait till you have kids. There goes your sex life. There goes your romantic life. There goes everything. I think that's a big fat lie because that has not happened to me. And we're in the newborn stage, and it's probably it's hard. Like, I'm up 24/7. It's just not going to happen, okay? Like, I promise you, when we are cleared, we'll be perfectly fine. Somebody asked postpartum poop and pee. I thought this was so funny because I was always very curious of this too. And then I finally had my baby and I was like, oh, okay. So people really hyped up that postpartum poop. Like, oh my gosh, girl, wait till you push that poop out. It's going to feel like you're in labor again. Like, good luck. I didn't have that, but they also made me take a stool softener right after I gave birth. I was still laying in bed. I hadn't even got up yet to go to the bathroom, and they made me take a stool softener, and let me just tell you, I hated it. I mean, I'm thankful because I know, like they say, if you don't have a stool softener, good luck, but I hated it because I was very swollen, bleeding a ton, in this massive diaper, and then all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't control my bowels, and I had to run to the bathroom, and I hated that feeling. I absolutely hated it. I would much rather push a turd out than ever do that again. And I actually denied the stool softener the next day and was like, no thank you, like, do not do that to me again. I did not like that. And even the next day, like, they were like, oh, this is gonna be a hard poop. And mine was completely fine. I mean, it felt like pressure. I did feel pressure, but I didn't have to, like, sit there and pray, like, Lord, please get this turd out. It was completely fine. So, I mean, it was definitely not comfortable, but better than feeling like you can't control yourself. So, that's up to you. And as far as the pee, I did not have a stinging pee sensation like everyone says. Oh goodness. I peed like normal. Maybe like my very, very, very first pee, like right as they walk you to the bathroom and they sit you down, they're like, you need to pee. It didn't burn, but I felt like for the first 3 days I had no control of my bladder. Like, I wouldn't pee my pants, but when I would get to the toilet, maybe it's because I just pushed the baby out, I had a catheter and all that good stuff, or my bladder was just going back to normal. I don't know, but I felt like I didn't have to push. Like, I literally just sat there and I couldn't feel my pee, if that makes sense. Like, you know how when you have to pee, you hold it in? I didn't have to do it. Like, it was weird. It just felt like it would just flow out of me for the first, like, 3 or 4 days, actually. And then I finally felt normal. Like, when I had to pee, I would go sit down and I would, like, start peeing. You know what I mean? It didn't just flow out. I don't know. It was weird. But another person asked, did you get stitches and did you tear? I know, we're hurrying. She's getting hungry. So I did not have like a 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, any of that kind of good stuff. I had a small, very, very small inner tear, and I did have to get dissolvable stitches. And I think I only got that inner tear because they had to rip Oakland out because her heart rate, and it was just a little scary situation. So they did like start to really get in there and start to pull her out. And I think if they would have just let me go naturally, which I understand they couldn't let me do that, I wouldn't have torn like I did. But yeah, I did get dissolvable stitches. They're still in there. I can see them. I check, but they don't hurt or anything like that. I didn't have any like major swelling. I think my swelling went down after like day 2. Like, I'm not kidding, it went fast. But yeah, it was fine, really. Somebody said, was it awkward having your husband see that? By that, I think you mean delivery and birth itself. So I actually, So I actually did not want Will to look at all. Like, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting my labor to go the way that it did. But the nurse was like, you need to grab a leg and push her leg completely back. So I was completely open and exposed. And I remember just looking up at Will saying, don't look. And he was like, I can't. Like, I have to look. But no, I wouldn't say it was awkward at all. Because in that moment, I was more like, get this baby out. I'm in so much pain. Like, you don't even understand. And I was really glad that he was there. And honestly, I mean, it was not the pleasantest sight, like the most pleasant sight, but he was very mature about it. He didn't make me feel bad about it. Even after delivery, he didn't make me feel bad or anything. He was just like, you know, you just did that. You pushed a baby out and I seen it, and that's it. That's the end of the discussion. Like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you're gross. You know, I just seen all of that. And he actually seen the placenta and everything. I didn't get to see that because I was actually hemorrhaging, and they put my bed all the way back, and I was like starting to fall asleep. I was getting really tired. I was really out of it, and I didn't get to see my placenta, which is very upsetting to me. I did want to see it, but my husband got to see it, and he said it was not pretty to look at. Somebody said, did you experience postpartum depression and your hormones? So I kind of briefly talked on this, and like I said, it's a very touchy subject because I know a lot of women struggle. But I was very, very blessed and thankful that I did not, and I have not yet experienced postpartum depression, or what else? Oh yeah, so I didn't experience that. I actually, as far as hormonal, I would say I felt like a major, how do I describe it? Like relief. I just felt like very relieved that I was no longer pregnant, and I was just so thankful and so happy that I had her here and that I did it. And no, I didn't have any depression. I didn't have any of that, which I'm, you know, like I said, I'm just very thankful. That's all I can say. But my hormones are not out of whack, crazy out of whack, but I do cry very, very easy when it comes to Oakland. Like, when she had to get some testing done, I was like, oh, like I almost had to like leave the room because I just don't want to see her cry in pain like that. But yeah, no, as far as anything, I've been so good. I did have a little bit of postpartum health anxiety like day 1 and 2, and I was very open about it with my husband and told him right when I felt like, oh my gosh, I think I'm having a panic attack. And we were actually in the hospital at that point, and he like did a very good job of talking me through it and being like, listen, you're okay, you're not bleeding out. Because I did have a scary labor, and I had to like tell myself like, I'm okay, I'm healthy. And ever since then, I've been completely fine. But I did experience a teeny bit of health anxiety, but it went away, so I'm very thankful. Is it hard figuring out how to be a mom? No. But I will say it was very weird at first. Like, when she came out, I was like, oh, like, you're actually a human being. Like, it kind of just hit me like, oh wow, you're a baby. I have to take care of you, which I knew all along, but it's just weird when she actually comes out. But no, it's not hard figuring out how to be a mom for me. I feel like I just kind of knew. I had that mom instinct. As soon as she came out, I was like, okay, you're my child, and here we go. Like, it was very easy for me. But yeah, no, it was a pretty good, easy experience. Was birth scary, and how bad did it actually hurt? So I don't want to say birth itself is scary in general as a whole, but my birth was scary for me, and I originally wasn't scared of birth. Like, I was going to go into it perfectly fine, but like I said, things happened during labor that I wish didn't happen. So I was going to do a whole birth story on it, but I might just talk briefly about it now. So when I was actually pushing, my epidural stopped working. So I got my epidural at 4 centimeters, but I progressed very, very quickly. I went from a 5 to a 9.5 in like 25 minutes. And before that, I kept telling them I can feel my legs, I can feel like I can get up and walk right now. And they're like, oh, that's a good epidural, like you're fine. And I was like, okay. They hit my button 2 times because I kept telling them how I felt so much pressure and like pain in my vagina. And they said, well, epidural doesn't take away pressure or anything like that, and you're fine. So they did hit my button and everything stayed the same. It didn't help. So I noticed that my epidural was wearing off, but I had no time. I progressed very, very quickly, and I felt the most massive pressure pain in my butt. Okay, it's not in your vagina like you would think. It is in your butt, and I felt the biggest pressure of my life. Like I was saying, I'm going to poop on this bed right now. You need to call my doctor. Like, it's time to go. And I was just at a 5, so they were like, but I was like yelling. I'm like, you need to go call my doctor because I can feel like I need to push this baby out. And so they did. Everything was fine. I started doing practice pushes, and then when it came down to the real thing, when I was pushing her out, her heart rate just plummeted. I mean, it kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and they try to be so calm and keep everything so calm, but I could hear my nurse just under her breath to my doctor saying 66, 55, 75, back to 60. Like, it was, she was being very calm about it, but I knew what was going on. And then I guess my blood pressure plummeted and tanked out as well. My mom actually seen all that on the monitor. I didn't see the monitor. They kept it like turned to where I couldn't see it. But I started feeling very, very shaky, very out of it. And I remember my doctor looking up at me saying, you need to, we have to get this baby out in the next couple pushes, or I'm going to have to vacuum her out. And I was like, no, you're not. Like, I don't know why that scared me so bad, but I was like, no, you're not. So it did encourage me to push like my absolute hardest, but I was losing my breath so bad. I felt like I just couldn't get enough air in my lungs to make it through the contractions. And they make you do 3 contractions, to make it through the pushes. They make you do 3 pushes at each contraction. And like right after another, like you don't have a break. At least they didn't give me a break. And that's what was hard for me. I don't know if it's my past hemangioma on my airway that caused it, but I could not, like I couldn't hold it for 10 seconds because I couldn't breathe. Like I was losing air. But I guess I finally got the head out, which was awful. And by the way, yes, I did feel this. So like I said, my epidural was not working. So I got the head out, and that's when she really started yanking Oakland. I mean, she ripped her out so fast. So once I finally got her completely out, I just felt it felt like a tsunami coming out of my body. Like it was just like, psh. And that was blood, I guess. I didn't have a mirror or anything like that, so I didn't see it, but I definitely felt it. I instantly got super tired. I was like trying to keep my eyes open. I remember them placing the baby on my chest, and I was just like, whoa, holy crap, I'm so out of it. And my doctor was pushing so hard on my stomach. That was what was painful to me. Oh my gosh, it was so bad, just pushing. Like I felt like she was pushing all the way through my body. Like she couldn't push anymore. And I just started screaming. Like I was like, ow, 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 ow. Like that hurts so bad. Please stop, please stop, please stop. But she was trying to get the blood to stop because I was bleeding out. And I was freaking out because it hurt so bad. Oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. Well, she was like shoving rags in there. Nothing was working. She was still massaging. They ended up giving me a shot in my leg and starting me on some IV medicine. I don't know what it was or what it was called, but it was supposed to help me stop bleeding. She massaged me for so long, and I just remember them saying, focus on your baby, but I couldn't focus. Like it hurt so bad. I was trying to focus on Oakland because I was so blessed and happy she was here. I was like, oh my God, I'm my mom. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I can feel that, and that hurts so bad. It was very scary because I remember my husband's face, and he was just traumatized. Like he looked like, I thought he was going to pass out. And at one point he actually said, I need to go to the bathroom. Like he was going to pass out. My mom was white as a ghost. Like she was so white. It was just, I could tell they were terrified. And I remember looking up at them saying, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Because that's what they were acting like. They were like, oh my gosh, like this bleeding isn't stopping. And I was just like, oh my God, like I'm terrified. This isn't what I want. I don't want this to happen. and I was so scared. Will was so scared. Like, I just remember the fear on his face, and same with my mom. Well, then they started to stitch me up, and I felt that. I started screaming again, like yelling, like, ow. I could feel every poke. It hurt so bad. And then they had to stop because the bleeding got worse, and so they were like halfway stitching me up, halfway trying to get me to stop bleeding. Well, they finally got the bleeding under control, I guess, and stitched me up, and I was screaming, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. Like, you guys, oh my gosh, so much pain. But after everything was said and done, I was fine. Oakland was very healthy when she got out. Why was her heart rate dropping? No idea. She couldn't handle the contractions, but the umbilical cord was not around her neck or anything like that. I don't know why her heart rate was dropping. But she came out perfectly fine. And after they got the bleeding to stop, they made me lay there for quite a long time. And I just remember looking at Will being like, it's okay. Like, you can focus on Oakland. Like, I'm okay. But he was just so scared. And it was very traumatic. But here we are. And it's okay. We're alive. We're healthy. I got a healthy little baby. And we're so thankful. But that is all the questions that I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you think Oakland is just cute. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. I hope you think she's cute as much as I think she's cute. And I will see you guys in the next video.